This is a podcast called 25 Whistles, talking football, and they all wear a whistle. Yeah, it's stupid, but what did you expect? It's a podcast called 25 Whistles. 25 Whistles.
Hello, welcome. Blow the whistle. I walked in, I think, on a weightlifting conversation. I don't know. I went to the bathroom and I came back. It's my once every 3 weeks bathroom break. And were you guys, I don't know, debating on who could lift the most or what?
No, it's not the conversation you would think you would be having about weightlifting.
Okay. It's you and Reid.
It was me and Reid talking about how our backs hurt from the last workout we did because we think the trainer is putting too much weight for us.
Can I just suggest something?
Yeah.
And I only say this because this is what I do. I'll go like, it's a little too much. Let's pull some off.
Yeah, but it's almost like he does the whole I believe in you, like you can do it. So then mentally you're like, okay, yeah, we can do this. And then we do it and it's like, oh, it's going to hurt for sure. And then we do it anyway.
Okay. So
Am I right, Reid?
I also have the problem of saying no. So he could put 650 pounds on there and I would probably try to do it and kill myself.
Oh, so you'd say you have a problem with not saying no.
Yeah, with not saying no, yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of a you thing.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
It's an us thing.
Because what I heard was, I felt like now that I know what I was listening to, you're blaming him.
Yeah, we were talking. Well, we were complaining, and then Kevin was listening to the conversation. He goes, "Well, how much weight did you guys have?"
Oh, and that's the number.
That's
game.
what we were doing the numbers.
Okay. So a couple things I'd like to say.
Reid, I think what'd you say, 370?
I think he said like 370, something like that.
Let me text him and see if he's around.
I know it was in the high threes.
No, there's no chance.
No way.
Are you sure?
No. I would think not. Listen.
Would it be in the 200s?
Yes.
Well, that's legit.
Let's see.
Does he carry around that much weight in that?
No, it's in my gym.
Oh, that's right.
Dang, I told everybody it was 375.
Keep telling him.
Hey, maybe it was.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on. Are you available to talk on podcast? These guys are.
No, I don't want him to think we're wimps, dude. We're just talking.
Trust me,
ourselves.
whatever he thinks, it's not because of a conversation that you're having now. These guys are debating weights. Okay, if he is, Mike, can we have somebody call from the studio so we can hear him better?
Yeah.
Bobby, or is this Mike?
No, it's Bobby now. It's Bobby, Eddie, Reid. It's our whole little crew here, okay? Just so you know.
Love it.
Okay, so I walked into the room, and I was out of the room, and I walk in, and I'm just catching the backside of a conversation from Reid, and Reid was talking about how much he deadlifts, and Reid just wants to know, first of all, if the number is correct. So Reid, what were you saying? How much do you deadlift?
Oh, dude, that was 100% 370 pounds, right?
So Reid was telling us he deadlifts 370. Can you give us? Would you mind giving some context to, like, because he obviously doesn't know, and I was like, I'm not going to say you're wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me about 370 and about Reid.
I could have sworn I heard you say 350.
Slice that in half, and we still got to go south for the number.
Oh my goodness.
What do you think? Go ahead.
No. Okay, so real quick, he has made progress, but we warm up at 135, and then we go to 185, and then we go to 205, and that's the most he has done for 3 to 5 reps.
So there wasn't a 50 in there at all?
Never.
Dude,
Not even
the 50's
250?
not even the hilarious point.
I swear I heard...
He's 205 is what he's saying you've capped at, and you were yelling 385 in the room.
You were.
So Reid thought he deadlifted 385, and I was like, I do not think that's accurate. Now,
I'll get there.
Eddie,
Yo.
what did you think you deadlifted?
I said, well, I was just joking when I said, like, no, it was in the 500s. I was joking with him.
Okay, got it.
But I figured 250. That's what I thought we were around.
Okay, with Eddie, Kevin.
Eddie has done 225.
Okay.
If he could ever stand up with that upper back first and not your hip, we'd be at probably 275 or 315. He's strong enough to do more, but he's at 225. Bobby
okay.
has done 315.
Yeah, I've gotten to threes before.
Nice.
315, probably like 4 times, 6 times, something like that. But I'm not talking about me. It's not about me.
But I like that for reference.
I don't need a number to make me. If I'm working hard, I know I'm working hard, and whatever it's at, we're at. Now that leads us to something else great. I don't want to have a few minutes with Kevin. Eddie said that he does not deadlift well because his body is not made for it. Like because they're both hurting. Like Reid's like had to get a needle in his butt because he had to get a steroid in his back. And Eddie's back hurts today. And he's like, well, my body doesn't allow me to deadlift properly. And I say, no, it's not your body, it's your ego. But what do you think about when someone says their body doesn't allow them to deadlift that's not injured?
We just haven't done it enough, to be honest with you.
2 years? Not enough?
Really? Yeah, because we really, I mean, there's a period where we're only going 2 days a week. There's some weeks where I don't throw deadlifts at you.
My man.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, if we wanted to, if your goal was to specifically get better at deadlifting, we'd deadlift 2 to maybe 3 times a week.
That is not my goal.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
No, go ahead.
we taste it, so we actually train it. We don't sit there and put it in the program so we can get to a 400-pound deadlift. We throw it to make sure we have a healthy back. I know you've got a sore back today, but that even tells me we should maybe do a little bit more of it.
What are you talking about?
So this is what I was expressing to him, because Eddie gets embarrassed when he has to take weight off to do deadlift after I go. I'm like, hey man, if you have an ego, you're not going to get any better. And I compared it to me working out with you. If you have to pull plates off if I'm bench pressing after Kevin. And yeah, okay, for a second you're like, well, this sucks. But I have to drop that ego. I'm not as strong as him, and if I'm going to get stronger, I got to work a lighter weight until I can get stronger. And with Eddie, he's like, it's just so heavy. And I'm like, if you really feel that way, do as I do and go, hey, I think I maxed out at this right here. I'm not going to go up. Like, you count on us to say if our body hurts, right?
Right. I also see bar speed, so I want to take the ego part completely out of it. I know, Bob, you've been doing it longer, but like Eddie and Reid, for instance, they shouldn't have any ego lifting because I'm the one who's steering the ship. And if I see the bar speed is fast, then we add weight. If it's slow and it looks like shit, then we go less.
And all
so
does.
my job is to take the ego out of it.
They're just embarrassed when weight has to come off after I'm done and they go.
Be honest, Kevin. When you have to take the weight off, are you kind of like, oh my gosh, we've been doing this for 2 years. Why do we have to keep doing this?
No, I don't get frustrated with it. I really don't. With time, it'll click.
And I told him, you work with a lot of different people that lift a lot of different weights. It's never really about the number. It's about the work you're putting in and how much stronger and more efficient you are. And so these two knuckleheads need to realize they don't have to be like, oh, I don't lift as much, I'm a wimp. You're wimps anyway. It doesn't matter. You're wimps. Both of you are wimps.
It's not true.
I'm a king wimp.
Not true, Bobby.
I'm
true, man.
I'm king of the wimps. I'm a wimp myself.
Well, you just called us, then say we are wimps.
I just did. We're all wimps.
Okay, well, then I'll take that.
Some of us are less wimpy than others, but we're all wimps. Okay, so any advice for people out there, Kevin, that are listening, that are and coming to the new year, all right, everybody, I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to get fit. Like, what, as the trainer in my mind, A+, number one trainer, what is your advice for somebody who's just starting to get on their fitness train?
It's as simple as it sounds, is just do something. Typically, I would actually just start with a warm-up, 10 minutes of a warm-up, because a lot of people aren't motivated to actually do a full 60-minute workout. So just go do a warm-up. There's a strong chance you do not leave right after your warm-up. You'll at least complete 10 to 15 more minutes of whatever you know, you'll do it. So just start with a warm-up, start small, but put it in your phone as a meeting and make it non-negotiable. Get the shit done.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it, buddy. And
Thank you, Kevin.
By the way, Reid, are you working out?
I'll be there.
You had to get a shot.
I'm good.
I called Reid like 8 o'clock one night. He's like, I'm at the doctor getting a needle in my butt.
I just knew what happened last time, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to sleep because once I get still, it stiffens up and starts aching. So I was like, I'm just going to go.
You stretch, Reid? Ever?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Kevin. Thank you, buddy. I never really thought I'd be the guy. At least not this early, but I've been married 3 years now. Which is crazy.
That is crazy.
Because everybody says it just feels like just yesterday. I'm glad it's not the opposite, though, because I do have friends that I think got married and they're like, we've only been married a few years and it feels like 100 years.
Exactly.
It does feel short. I was thinking about it with my wife last night. I was like, we still have a lot of fun together. Not that we shouldn't, and we don't have kids yet, so that's not the thing. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I still laugh as hard at her jokes as when I met her. She does not laugh at hard. Maybe I'm just a one-trick pony, though, is what I started to think about.
No.
Like, she has, like, depth, and I feel like I'm funny as F sometimes.
Everyone just gets a little and maybe it's
Dude,
not.
she's funnier than she used to be.
I know that, but like when you hang out with someone like you and I, dude, we laugh all the time, but we hang out so much that sometimes we just don't laugh. We don't even catch each other's jokes because we're around each other so many times. Does that make sense? So
I guess.
marriage, like
I wasn't supposed to hurt my own feelings with this, but now I've hurt my own feelings because I was going to talk about Kevin because he's getting married. I'm glad you finish your thing because this was not intended for me to hurt my own feelings. But go ahead, Eddie, finish your thought. I'm
just
sorry.
saying that you're still funny.
Thank you.
It just when you're with someone so long, it just kind of dilutes it a little bit. But dude, you are still funny.
Like I'm witty as crap.
Yes.
Like that's my strength is that I'm quick. I'm not going to out joke write Dave Chappelle. And I can write jokes at an okay level, only okay. But usually if I'm like doing stand up and I'm telling the jokes I've written, the best stuff comes from it after I've told it and had to react from the response. Like I know my strength is being witty and quick, not concept punchline. Okay?
Yes.
And this was never about this. I was going to get to Kevin, but now I got to go on a whole rant.
Well, now you got me thinking too.
Now I got to go on a whole rant, and I didn't know this was going to be the case because we're mostly talking about sports here. But one of my frustrations with myself, with my wife, but it's with myself. Whenever I was touring consistently, doing stand up, which means I was in the mindset of I'm always thinking of jokes. Never. Like concept, joke, punch, never. I'll write ideas to talk about on the show, and our show is 100% improvisational, meaning, and there's a different element to our show. Amy's so random. Like I never know where she's going to go on the Bybone show. I never know where she's going to go, and I like that about her because who knows? Eddie, to me, is by far the funniest person on the show, but I think our sensibilities are the same. You are funny enough to set me up at times, and there are things that you say that I think go way underappreciated. But maybe just because we have the same sense of humor, right?
I think that's it.
That helps.
And we spend so much time on a stage together.
Yes.
We can predictive text. We can even set each other up a bit. I can set you up to set me up.
99% of the time, I know where you're trying to go with something.
But then I wonder, is it just because I go to the same place?
Nope.
So
No.
Look, that's my thing. However, my wife's thing is also that. But also, I would be writing jokes. I'd be sitting there, and I'd have my laptop open. And she has no interest in jokes. But I'd be like, oh, this punchline here. And she wouldn't even ask me, like, what's going on? Because she just lets me do my thing. And I would laugh, and she'd be like, oh, did you get a good one? I was like, yeah, I think it's pretty good. Do you want to hear it? She's like, I don't know. And it's not that she won't think it's funny. It's that she knows if I say, what do you think? She has to give me her real opinion.
Yeah.
I never set the rule if she had to always be honest with me. And if I could have, maybe I wouldn't have. But she has set that rule about anything that I do. If she likes it, she says it. If she doesn't, she doesn't. And in my book, Fail Until You Don't, I do talk about like have somebody that tells you suck because you can believe them when they tell you you're good. Because everybody will always be like, oh yeah, your haircut looks great. Oh yeah, your shirt looks good. Oh yeah, you're hilarious. And if they're only that, how do you even know they're telling you the truth? Unless they also can hit you with your shirt doesn't look that good today. So for me, I really can never believe anybody complimenting me unless I have heard them before say something, not hurtful, but like, oh yeah, I don't think that's really the move. Try this. Because then when they do say the good thing, I know it's for real. And so with my wife, we definitely have that relationship because she will not even give me a sympathy laugh. When I'm like, hey, give me a sympathy laugh, she won't do it. So I'd be writing a joke, punchline would be pretty good or really good, I think. And she's like, huh. That's all. Like, she goes, well, yeah, that's it's kind of funny. Okay, it's kind of funny. So, and then I know that it's going to hurt me, but I need to ask for the benefit of it. But I know it's going to hurt me. It's just kind of funny. What's holding it back? That's low hanging fruit.
It's too easy of a joke.
I bet, but it's funny. It's like my job is to get them to laugh. She's like, yeah, but you're smarter than that. And at the same time, I'm insulted and I'm also complimented.
Yeah, because you're smarter than
She's
that.
like, you're smarter than that joke. And I'm like, but she goes, too low hanging fruit. And then I made the mistake a couple times. And it's not a mistake anymore because now I will do it and not get my feelings hurt. To say, okay, you're so smart, write it better.
She's like, okay.
And the first time she did, I was at my core offended. And I wasn't even offended. I think I was just sad that she was better at it than me without even trying. And I said, I wish I remembered the joke. But I remember feeling it and getting my feelings hurt so bad. She did not hurt my feelings. She did everything she tried to not to be a part of it. And then once she was in, she was like, I'm going to be supportive in the way of honesty. And she wrote the joke better. And I remember thinking, it may not be better. So I went out and I told the joke over 2 nights, 2 different ways. And the way I told it, got some good laughs. And I'd have felt good about it. And I'd have been like, I can make that better. I remember the joke.
You do? You remember now?
The joke. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I remember the joke now. And then I told it her way the second time. Freaking
Def Comedy
Much
Day?
better.
oh yeah, Arsenio. And I just remember whenever she did that, I was so hurt because I felt inadequate. I wasn't hurt by what she did. I hurt because it felt like I was inadequate. This is what I do. This is what I get paid to do. Heck, I'm selling tickets 50, 60, 70, 80 bucks a pop to come to a theater to watch me tell jokes. And the person who does not want to get on stage for any reason whatsoever, who has no history of writing anything or any ambition to be, just went, oh, but you could do this. This would be better. She's not just saying you can do it better or it could be better. She goes, yeah, you could do it better. And I try this. And it was better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see that.
And it's the greatest thing that's happened to me now, although I still struggle sometimes, but it's also one of the weirdest, hardest relationship things that's happened to me. The joke mostly, and I can't remember how she punched it up, but the whole thing was, my wife's always been like, if you die, I don't want you to marry anybody else. And I was like, ha. And so I'm writing a joke about that. And my wife's like, yeah, and people are going to tell you, like your friends, my friends are going to be like, nah, she was just kidding. You should really marry somebody else. And I don't remember what it was, but I had some punchline and it was pretty funny. And then whatever she said, I got to look in my notes. It was so much funnier. And I told it. And then I told her version at the Opry. And that's the hardest crowd because they didn't come to see me and they're all ages from all over the country. And I remember the Opry went Def Comedy Jam. And I was like, I have to get over my ego on this part.
Swallow it.
Is that the only one, or has there been multiple?
There's been a few specific jokes, but there are also times where I will leave the show because she would travel, not every show, not even half the shows, but she'd come to some if they were close because we'd fly private and we could. And if Eddie came to do Raging Idiots as part of like the stand-up act, Eddie would come. So she was like, I want to go hang out. It's all our friends.
You're right.
So we'd fly over like Charleston and fly back that night type of thing. So she'd go to do those. And I'd have to be careful because I'd come off and people would be like, hey, good show, good show. And you want to be told good show. Everybody does. What's funny is even the greats, and I'm a mid by far, but I'm not talking about comedians, like artists. Like when Chris Stapleton leaves the stage, he wants to be told good show.
Yeah. When
Carrie Underwood finishes the show, she wants people to be like, hey, you did a good job. We think they don't want to hear that because, well, of course they know they're great.
Right.
But everybody wants to hear it because we need it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would try to avoid, and I'd be like, oh man, that's pretty good. Would you watch any of the show? What'd you think? Oh, and you ask it, then you know.
You're asking for the truth.
And she's not just going like this. And she's like, I thought it was pretty good. And she'll do that. Or the worst is when she goes, I think the crowd liked it.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
You didn't like, well, we didn't like it. And she'll go, well, I've seen it 10 times.
Right.
I said, but I tried some new stuff. And she's like, yeah. I said, did any of that stuff work? And she was like, I thought this was pretty funny. I thought that was pretty funny. What about this? You got to. So that started happening. It was so hard. For me, it was because I just feel so inadequate, so insecure anyway. That's why I do this whole job, right? You only want to be a performer because you feel insecure and inadequate. That's the only reason anybody's a performer ever. Because you're getting love. You're trying to find love in a different form or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Acceptance, all that.
Yeah. Yes, all of that. Even a performer, let's say it's not even a stage performer, a performer in life. Like someone who's like always like performing, not even like shows, but in their actions. Like performance, for the most part, is to have positivity given back to you for that performance. Mm-hmm. I just happen to go the extra mile, and I've tried to perform in every avenue.
Yeah, your radio, stand up, everything.
Everything.
I feel like social media is like that a lot too.
Yes, absolutely. If the big performers, great point.
And even the quietest people I know personally,
great point.
They're loud on social media.
Great point.
And
so,
I'm like,
and the reason I'm getting all back to Kevin because this is something Kevin brought up.
Oh yeah, what were we talking about?
But it definitely triggered me. You don't even know yet. It definitely triggered me in my heart in like the good, hardest way. And so my wife would be like, yeah, you know, do this. And it has benefited me greatly. It still sometimes feels hurtful to me that I feel like I'm not. There's a part too where she would, if we did the show, and there was a part of the tour where Eddie did like 15 shows in a row. Like the Idiots would come out and we'd play 15 or 20 minutes or so in the middle, and then I'd finish the show, whatever. Comedically inspirational. It was Eddie came to most of those shows.
All of them, I think.
Yeah. And so the funny thing my wife would say was she would always wonder, like, because she had seen the show 100 times, like, why? Who cares? After you've seen it 100 times. And if you know I'm not doing anything new, I'm just trying to get ready for like when we finally recorded the special. And she'd be like, I knew it was about time to come up because you just met your dad.
Yeah, in the set.
And that was a joke. And that was a joke her and Eddie had. Was hey, you know the show's about over because he just met his dad.
So like I would be like, you know, backstage or whatever, changing, and then I would come back and see Caitlin. I'm like, has he met his dad yet? Like just to see where.
No.
Because there's a part where I talk about that, like in the serious part that turns into a joke, and their whole joke was, oh yeah, he just met his dad, so we should probably get ready to go.
That's what it tells
out
you.
there. Yeah.
That was funny.
And Eddie could probably speak on this better than I could for a bit, but it's bizarre to be married to somebody that's better at you than at what you're celebrated for. Like I am celebrated. I have a great career in saying compelling things, radio, podcast, comedy, doing television shows, writing books. I have no doubt that if my wife would have focused on that, she would have been better at me at every single one of those things. She has no interest in it. And it is a bizarre feeling to be like, do I want to turn it on and just kill, like take over a room? And mostly I don't because I'm quiet. But if it's like on, I got to be on, I can dominate a room.
Mm-hmm. Is that an attraction for you? You think like subconsciously? We're getting deep here.
I think it got more the more we were together. I think at first she was just cutting funny.
Yeah.
At first. Like just cut. She would cut. What limb would you like to have cut off? Because she will cut it off and be hilarious about it. Yes, I'm very attracted to that now.
Yeah.
But it is a bizarre situation to be like, I'm the funniest guy in the room. I'm the smartest guy in the room. This is just in my head, me thinking this.
Mm-hmm.
I am the most successful guy in the room. And then I go home and at home, I'm not that. That's crazy. But that's something that I have learned that to be grateful for, because I used to not be grateful for it at all. That's a weird part because Kevin's getting married and stuff.
Yeah, Kevin's getting married.
That's been the weirdest part for me is that. And also I never cohabitated with anyone ever. I was never engaged and never had anything. Another weird part. And I felt myself shift here. And to what we were going to talk about on this show in this segment was my wife comes from a family of die-hard Oklahoma fans. Not casuals. Not moderates, which would be more than casual.
Mm-hmm.
DH, all the way. Like they are OU, born, bred.
Die Hard.
Die Hard. Her dad reads the recruiting boards. Who's out? Where's the possible offensive coordinator coming from? Like they are in on every level. Lincoln Riley's dead to them. You know, he went to USC. They root against USC as hard as possible. Like they have what I have for Arkansas. It is weird to be with somebody who has that because I've only ever had mine. And I was like, eventually, when we have kids, they're for sure going to be Razorback fans. And my wife's like, no, they're not going to be Oklahoma fans. I was like, oh my God, my life's turned upside down. So now I'm like strategizing, how do I make the kid an Arkansas fan? It's weird to be in a family that has another alpha team that you have to respect because it's as important to them. Does your fiance have an alpha team?
Yes, it is Alabama.
Yeesh.
Oh, you know what's good for you is you don't really have a team.
No, he does. He's
No,
Tennessee.
I'm Tennessee. That's where the dilemma comes in.
Okay, but go ahead. I'm going to act like Tennessee is your all-life team.
He's been
So-
Tennessee for what, 2 years?
No, 3.5.
Okay,
3.5. 3.5. And I realized it on the same weekend that I proposed because I was hanging out with their family, all of them in Alabama hats, Alabama gear. But they're more so, they're a generation as far as like Bear Bryant and then Nick Saban. And now they're kind of like, oh.
Lifetime.
Whatever. Yeah, lifetime. Generations.
So that's the OU fan. That's like 3 generations of Caitlin's family.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I talked to them about Saban. They're like, no, let's talk about Bear Bryant. And I'm like, what?
They all have the hats
I don't
on.
really have anything to say about that. So as I'm sitting there watching all that and I'm thinking, can I wear like my Vols gear around them? Am I gonna get kicked out of family events?
Do you want the truth or do you want like good, fun content?
You want truth, right?
Yeah, you got what we were just talking about it, right?
You want,
Yeah,
truth.
you want truth.
We need truth.
You want real truth?
You want Caitlin.
You're not a real Vols fan. You're a moderate. You're not a casual, because casual would be like somebody that lives in Tennessee who's like every once in a while checks on a game. You're a Vols. You like the Vols. You do like the Vols.
Yeah.
You're not a Vols fan. You're not a diehard Vols fan. Your whole life you haven't dedicated it to the Vols. You're a diehard Patriots fan. I'm not saying you're not a diehard fan of things, because you absolutely are. Like you would kill somebody for the Celtics.
Yep.
You would kill somebody for the Patriots. Those are your diehards. And I would say it'd be a different situation if they were diehard Jets fans. That's the advice I could kind of give you. But they're rivals. Oklahoma and Arkansas, they played Southwest Conference type, but they were never we played, but they've been two conferences. They haven't been rivals, although the schools are very close to each other. I would say you can become a Bama fan.
Nope.
You can.
Nope. I can't switch again.
You don't have to switch. You can be a Vols fan, but you can also root for Alabama, because I root for Oklahoma, and not even so much for my wife anymore, more so for my father-in-law, because I don't like to see him sad, because he's the greatest dude ever. And sometimes if it was just Caitlin, I wish Oklahoma would lose, just so she'd shut up about Arkansas. Not even so much about Oklahoma, but she'd be like, "Ha ha, your coaching staff's like two kids in a trench coat, like tall, like this is how much
That's such a funny vision.
yeah."
You understand that, Kevin?
What was it?
That the coach is like really two kids in there in a trench coat, like
Like on top of the
controlling-
other one's shoulders,
yeah,
and it's like
okay.
your coach is just two kids in a trench coat.
Like if you pull their coat open, it's just
like
two kids in there.
Ah, you got us.
But on the flip side, to your point, I'm diehard Boston, Celtics, Patriots, Red Sox. They don't have a pro team.
Great.
So that's what's awesome.
Yeah, that's
and for you, it is not going to be that weird, because you do not hate Tennessee because you're a diehard Vols fan. You cannot Alabama.
Yeah.
If you were a diehard Bama or Vols fan, dude, there's no chance.
It'd be rough.
It'd be rough, and you would just have to have one of those relationships where we just have different teams, and where our teams hate each other.
And that's not the same for pro sports, right? Like
Eagles, Cowboys, something like that.
that's
Dude,
not- I mean, like maybe
I would say there's a couple instances where
Okay.
that could be the case.
because like my family is Cowboys, Texans. That's like the big split with
Not a
families.
rivalry. Texans haven't been around long enough.
Correct.
Yeah.
In the NFL, an diehard Eagles fan, diehard Cowboys fan,
That was
they're
the way.
never going to root for each other's teams.
Right.
No way.
But I would think because you're not Vol to the core since you were 5 years old, it's not going to be that difficult for you. It's actually going to be kind of nice.
But what
because
about like 20 years down the road when I'm 23 and a half years in?
you're going to be more of a Bama fan, because
Yeah,
you're going to go to
bro.
those games. And it's a good time to be a Bama fan right now to take it up, because they're not winning everything.
Yeah.
Had you jumped in, and
Saban.
I want to give you some advice, not marriage advice, but sports and marriage advice. Because what do I know about marriage advice? Nothing.
Now you're 3 years in.
3 years in, but
Not compared to my 19.
exactly. Like straight marriage advice, I ain't the guy, unless it's like new marriage advice, like in these new stages. Like sports marriage advice. Learn a bit about the history, because you know what her parents want to talk about. And like if you go want to talk about Gene Stallings, or you hate Mike DeBose, or you have like
Who are those guys?
old Alabama coaches.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so if or like Mike Shula coached Bama for a bit. Like if you just have an understanding, you're not faking it or a fan. I will like read Oklahoma stories just so I can know what my father-in-law is talking about. Because I like talking with him.
That's good
And I think
advice.
he even
Yeah.
does that on Arkansas stuff a little bit. And like there's a respect there.
Yeah.
But I also really enjoy talking with my father-in-law. My favorite parts are when my wife's gone, and it's just us
you
driving
two?
somewhere. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe because again, I didn't have a dad, so like that is cool to me. But this is my Eddie. You giving real advice after this? That's nothing to do with sports.
No, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
Because
I haven't thought about that, but you're
they are
right.
such Bama fans. I would encourage you to study up a little bit on your Alabama current and history, the Saban stuff. The Gene Stallings. Stallings has got a statue. Understand kind of what's there. Ask questions too. Because nobody loves anything more to be like, so wait, they have a statue in Tuscaloosa of every coach who won a national championship, or from every time? And the answer is every time they won one, they got a different one. So
Okay.
Saban has many statues. But people love to talk about themselves, and they will love to talk about Alabama, and they will think that you care, and eventually you will care a little more, because you'll see that they're sad when they lose. But you can make it work because you're not a lifelong or 5-year-old up Vols fan. You're not a casual. Don't be insulted.
It's okay.
You're a medium. And I think when the Vols lose, that sucks for you because you like the Vols.
Yeah, but it doesn't ruin my day like
Right.
the other sports.
You have room, and it's the best time to be an Alabama fan right now if you're new because they're not winning national championships and you're not going to be a super poser. If you come in while Saban's won 3 and he's number 1.
And I'm a Patriots fan in the same era.
Yeah.
That'd be the worst.
That's going to be fun for you, though. It's just more sports, though, too. Like, I went to an Oklahoma game for the first time this year to OU Stadium. It was awesome. And I did the Toby Keith thing, and that's what got me there. But I would have never gone to Norman to a Oklahoma football game. Why? I mean, not because I was like, no, but like, why?
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a crap.
What's the point?
Yeah, I don't want to watch Oklahoma, Big 12. Who gives a crap? But now it's SEC. It's going to be fun. So my advice is learn a little bit about Bama. And don't expect them to, and don't go in being like, I'm Mr. Vols guy, because you're not.
No, I haven't done that. Don't worry.
Even like kidding.
Yeah, because you moved here and like this is how you became a Vols fan. By moving to Tennessee, you see everyone get excited about the Vols. And you're like, you know what? I really don't have a college team. Why not? And dude, you're only 3 years in. Open your mind up to possibly joining that family.
Junior varsity Bama. Don't go full Bama yet.
Okay.
I'm not going to say the movie quote. Nobody goes full Bama.
Never go full Bama.
Never go full Bama. But you can not be a hater, and you can actually use it as a bonding. I don't want to say technique. It sounds like I'm in the CIA. But you can use it to bond with them, and it's awesome.
Okay.
Because they love talking about stuff, and sometimes it's hard to, like, if father-in-law, uncles, grandpas, it's kind of hard to find that.
Yeah, because I wanted to talk Saban. I think the first time I met him, they're like, well, he's no Bear Bryant. And I'm like, okay.
And he's not, but he, in other ways, is better.
Yeah.
But yes, that's all. That's my only advice. Eddie, give him some regular marriage advice, though.
Well, I was going to say about you guys. Like, you guys are talking about your kids, and but Bones, you don't have any kids. But if you do have kids, are they going to be Alabama fans? Are they going to be Arkansas fans? They're going to be Oklahoma fans, right? Like
Mine will be Arkansas fans.
You think that, and that's what I want to tell both of you guys.
I'll kill myself.
No, dude, I'm telling you, like, since I've had all of my kids, I've raised them the right way to be Cowboys fans. I have, like, got them every jersey. We watch, there's only one team we watch on Sundays, and it's the Cowboys, and we don't do anything else. If there are practices, we cancel them if the Cowboys are playing, right? All of this stuff. But I'm learning slowly, and especially, it doesn't help that they're not good this year, but I'm learning slowly that they're going to be fans of whatever team they want. And it's going to be hard, but I already know that, like, 2 of my kids that love football, they're football fans, may not grow up to be Cowboys fans. I have 2 that 100% will be Cowboys fans, and I have 2 that probably won't. And it hurts me a little bit, but that's just part of life. So I want to prepare you 2 that when you do have kids.
I'm not. Dude, I've studied cult techniques.
Manipulation.
No. There's no choice. They'll have no choice.
But it does, dude. It really just kills the situation when your team is not doing well. Like,
I know.
The child doesn't want to go through that pain.
If there are more options. I didn't have any more options.
Right.
I got to let someone on the gate. Hold on a minute. Let's see who this is. UPS.
But they might just go through a phase. I think I've told it before on this podcast that I was a Dolphins fan for like 2 or 3 years because I liked the animal when I was like 8.
But I would say too, where you live and if that team is around, constant exposure helps. Eddie, where your kids don't live in Dallas, you don't get taken to many Dallas Cowboy games.
Right, I don't.
Imagine you're taking them to like 3 or 4 games a year, and it was on the news all the time. In Arkansas, that's all we had.
Yeah,
so that's why. I'll be dude. My kids will be indoctrinated. It's the only team. We will have, okay, we're done with church. We have one more to go to. And it'll be, okay, here's Pastor Pittman. Hey.
The Church of Woo Pig Suey.
No, we'll act like it's normal, but it's like, yeah, and on the 13th day, those who did not root for the Hogs went to hell.
That's funny, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so anyway, I just want to tell you guys that. Just be ready for that. Because I'm living that right now, and it's eye-opening because I never, ever thought that I would have kids living in my house that could possibly not be Dallas Cowboys fans.
I will be ready for that so much so that it will not happen.
Okay.
And she claims the same, but there's no chance. I will exert way more energy than I should. It will be my dime. Everything I do will be. I'll Bryan Adams the thing.
Everything you do
will be to make sure that when we have kids, they're freaking Razorback fans.
Yeah.
Okay. Good talk, Kevin. Good luck.
Good
Thank
luck,
you.
Kevin.
Thank you both. Thank you both.
Good luck. I hope we were able to confuse you even more about what you're about to be a part of. Before we go, concert goers are opting to pee themselves in diapers rather than go to the restroom
Totally thought about this.
because they're enjoying the show.
I've done it in the crowd.
What?
Yeah,
You've taken your wiener out and peed in the floor?
Yeah, there were just too many people there that no one even realized, and it had been raining, so it was already muddy.
So it was outside though. That does not make it more right. First of all, I like to say it does not make it more right, but I'm thinking you're doing it in an arena.
Well, I saw people doing it in bottles. I'm like, what do you just do it on the ground right
I
in
would
front
just
of
be
you?
afraid that I'd be the one that like a undercover cop saw, and then
Oh my
next thing you know,
gosh.
I'm like on a registry, and my house is flagged, and I can't give away Halloween candy. But
I'd been drinking, so.
so did you go to like a corner? I don't know. How do you?
No, man, you're jam packed. We're probably in the middle of where the sea of people, and everyone's watching the show. No one's looking down.
Pee right there.
So yeah, I told my buddy, I'm like, I'm gonna just pee right here. So I did it. They kind of helped cover me a little bit. Like one stood in front of me, the other one stood on the other side. So no, I don't think anyone ever saw.
Wow.
I would not have the courage. I feel like you had a bit of liquid courage.
Oh, big time. It was late in the day. We'd been there all day.
Wow. Did you go one hand or two hand? Or like
No.
since the concert, did you have one hand up and then
Oh yeah, like you
one
act
hand
like you were
down?
still partying. Good point.
That's
Yeah.
a good
Kept your
question.
hand up. Wave.
I went handless,
Oh,
just
so
so
you
people-
just real nonchalant.
and I didn't even look down.
How'd you not pee on your legs?
Just didn't, dude. Just didn't.
That's,
I mean, you know what? I might have. I
I
don't
think you were
remember.
already wet from the rain and you just didn't even. Oh, man.
But I do remember thinking back to how you started this. I thought like we should have brought diapers.
I'd rather pee like you did and hope not to get caught than wear a diaper with pee or poop in it.
Oh, and just keep it in there.
Yeah, because that to me is the weird diaper thing. You pee, then you still got to take the diaper off, and you're gonna wait till after the concert. Otherwise, you just leave and pee when you were gonna.
Right.
Liquid Death, which is the water company, has collaborated with Depend brand, known for incontinence underwear, diapers,
Sure.
basically, to produce Pit Diaper, and they created. I mean, it's an adult diaper, but not as fluffy, not as puffy, so you can't tell you're really wearing it.
Yeah, because it's tough, man.
It's sold
Especially
out.
when you go to a big festival and they got porta potties on the other side of where you're at, trying to get through all those people to go to the bathroom and then come back, and people look at you like, "You're cutting. What are you doing?" It's a pain.
So I don't relate to that. So maybe because you're drinking so much, it becomes a little more difficult.
Correct.
Because I would go just use the bathroom before the show. It'd be like when you tell your kids on a road trip, we're stopping at the gas station, pee, and then they pee, and then hopefully they don't go, I gotta pee, but then they do.
They do. Have you heard about the seal? Like, because you don't drink, so you
the animal
I wouldn't.
seal
No,
or the
yeah.
person
I know,
seal?
I know what you're talking about.
I think anyone that's drank alcohol before knows about the seal.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Tell 'em,
Never,
Reed.
never bust a seal, man. You bust that seal and then
I
you're
mean, if you start it,
yeah, and then you're gonna be peeing every 5 minutes.
The first one, dude, is like that's the one you have to hold forever, as long as you can, because once you break that seal, you're going like Reed said, every 5
I
minutes.
feel like that's toxic to your body. Like the seal feels like the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
But I'm telling, it's a weird thing that once you go that first time, every 5 minutes you're gonna have to go.
Okay, is this science based in science or just like concert lure?
Just life.
Okay,
Just
based
life
on
experience.
Just drinking.
Okay. And it's for sure a drinking thing or just
It's a drinking
road trip thing?
I
Like,
mean,
does it-
even if you just chug water, I mean, it's the same thing. Like
don't
for driving
pee,
for me, like
because once you break the seal, it's nonstop.
Correct. And if you're not if you're just driving and you haven't had a drop of alcohol, it's not the same. Like the seal does not exist unless you are drinking.
Well, Reed just said water is part of the seal.
No.
for me, like driving, like unless I'm about to pee my pants, I will not pee while I'm on the road. Like I won't pee if I stop because I know if I pee then, I'm just gonna have to stop in another hour.
Oh, that's weird.
So to you, it's not about stopping and losing time. It's a seal thing. If you do it now, you'll continue to have to stop. You break the seal.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't think you've experimented with that enough because
Oh, don't listen to him. Don't start experimenting with this.
It
You're gonna
doesn't-
rip a bladder. You think your back's bad? You'll rip a bladder.
no, but Reed's worried that if he breaks the seal like he has when he was drinking, he's going to go again. But it doesn't work like that when you're not drinking.
That's true. I need to try it.
He's scared because of his experiences drinking.
Traumatized.
You're being a bad influence, dude. I just want to try to be a good influence here. You're being a bad influence, but
Okay.
I don't know enough about it. Thank you guys for being here. This is an extra episode we did. Like, was it completely based in sports stories with Creighton? No, but we wanted to do a fun episode because most of the time people aren't putting up podcasts. We wanted to do a podcast. I hate these 2 weeks because hardly any of my podcasts are actually doing work.
Yeah, they're all enjoying themselves.
Yeah, some of my favorite sports ones do because the games are happening. But it's like I get into my habits, what I like on what days, and and then they're not there. So we wanted to at least be up here and provide you guys a little something. So thank you guys. Eddie, blow the whistle.
Here we go. Let me break that seal.
Oh my God, I just peed my pants. You broke the seal. Oh no. All right, that's it. Thank you guys. Bye, everybody.